morning, Stingrays. Today it's actually April 14th. I'm recording a day early, just so I can get to see it, get some good editing, and get rolling. But technically yesterday you guys did an equivalent ratio review. I did that because you need to have a good understanding of that technique as we step into our next section, our next chapter. This section is all about solving percent problems with the is over of method. What does that mean, Mr. Nugent? I know, relax, I'll get to it. So what I'm going to be teaching you is we're going to be coming up with solutions to percent issues, okay? So you're going to see them three different ways. Like our first problem here, 12% of 40 is what? Okay, that's one way you could see it. 20% of what is 8? And then the last one is what percent of 25 is 20? Okay, there's I don't want to call it a formula so much. Let's just move the camera. There's not so much a formula as there is, I guess it is kind of a formula, yeah. So here's our formula. It is percent over 100, because percent is always over 100.
Percent is always over 100. Percent is always over 100.
Okay, even if it is 312%, even though it's 312, it's still always over 100 because
percent is always over 100.
So it's percent over 100 is equal to is over of. That's going to seem very confusing because those are words and you don't have a clue what that means. But let's look at our sentences. Okay, 12%. So that means that 12 goes there. Of 40 is blank. So the is blank. Our question is, what's the what? Clearly this spot's blank. What's the closest word to it? Is. So is going to become the variable. Over here, 20% of what is 8. So attached to the what is the of. And over here, what percent of 25 is 20? So what clearly is attached to the percent. That is what's going to be the variable. Wherever the question is, wherever the blank spot is, wherever the word what is, that's what's going to become your variable in this equation. So let me shift. I'll actually write this for each one of them. Okay. So you're going to use this method. You're going to use this little formula to solve all of these problems. So we said the what is the is. So the is going to become your big X. Your X. Okay, it's your unknown. That's what you're going to try and solve for. Percent is 12. Fill that part in. 12%. Percent is always over 100, okay? Even if it is greater than 100%, it's over 100. And then the of. We got the 12. So that leaves us with the of. Of is 40. The whole is 40. Okay, I'm going to set them all up, and then we're going to solve them. Because once I have them set up, you'll see the technique that we did yesterday. Okay, it is just cross multiply divide. So our what? Our blank spot is attached to the of, so that means the of becomes your X. Okay, your percent is right here. 20%. And what's left over is the is. Even though the is has the question mark, don't worry about that. We're not worried about so much the question mark as much as the blank spot or the word what. Okay? So the is 8. Is goes on top. Remember, the most important thing to remember is always it's going to be is over of. Is over of. Because honestly what it is it's part over whole. Part over whole. Whole over part. Part over whole. Over here, our what this time is the percentage. So I'm going to put an X there. We don't know. That's what we're trying to solve this time, is the percent one. Now, of is 25. Okay, very good. Of is 25. Is 20. So there you go. I've set up all my problems. I'm now going to go through and solve them using the technique I reinforced yesterday, which was cross multiply divide. Let's set them up. So the x is here. It's not always going to be the same spot. You're not always going to be cross multiplying and dividing the same exact way. You're going to be cross multiplying and dividing, but not always the same way. So the first one, 40 times 12, that's going to then be divided by 100. Okay, can you see that? I'm going to use my calculator. Yes, you're allowed to use calculator. We've progressed to that point in the math here where you're using calculators. Okay, so 40 times 12. 40 times 12. That gets me 480. I have 480 over 100. To divide that, I end up with, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 4.8. And it is. So your x equals 4.8. So 12% of 40 is 4.8. That's your answer. Okay, let's do the other two. I'm going to cross multiply, divide here. Cross multiply and divide by what's left. So 8 times 100 is 800. I know that. I can do that in my head. That's going to then be divided by 20. Pretty sure that gets me to like 40. 800 divided by 20 is, I'm correct, 40. So x equals 40. So 20% of 40 is 80. That's what this means. Okay, don't forget to finish the sentence. 20% of 40 is 80. Now on to our last one. I'm going to cross multiply and divide. 20 times 100, I believe, is 2,000. Correct? Yes, 2,000. 2,000 divided by 25. That was weird. Is 80. So x equals 80 in this circumstance. X equals 80. So 80% of 25 is 20. That's what these are all saying. Okay? They're not very difficult. They're not very difficult to solve. They're just difficult to understand how to set up correctly at first. Okay? So all you need to really remember is your basic formula is over of is equal to percent over 100. We're going to be doing something later, I think like 2 weeks. It's got a different formula. Okay? So this formula is what we use for this. Is over of is equal to percent over 100. I have a whole day to slice this up, make it look pretty. So hopefully I can get some nice stuff in there. We'll see.